G'day everyone, for today's vlog we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I have the opportunity to be a player character in my regular campaign. So we are going to build my character together while I record this video. You're going to have to be a little bit patient with me because I haven't, here's one I made earlier. I'm thinking through this as we talk together, okay? Or as I talk to you guys. So, I want to give, before we jump into this too much though, I just want to give a little bit of advice for my fellow forever GMs who finally get a chance to be a player character. Okay, so, the role of a GM within a campaign, as we all know, is significantly different from a player. And there's a couple of things I think you should look out for. So the first one is as a GM, often we're used to having a lot more attention given to us. We have a lot more social control over the dynamic of the table, and of course the story. But this can, but as a player, we don't want to have that though. Okay, it's not our job to facilitate as much as the GM, and I want to be a little bit careful to make a character that's not hogging the limelight too much. Okay, I don't want to come in and be a PC for a few sessions in my current campaign and just assume I'm the party leader or assume I'm in charge of talking to NPCs or make some really far out there character with a quirky, difficult personality that other people have to learn to manage. Okay, so I'm going for a character that is a very much like a team player, a bit more of a middle of the road. Not saying I'm not going to make him interesting, but I just want to be cautious. Okay, I don't want some big personality thing that's just going to dominate and push other people around. Okay. But still, contribute and be important and fun and, it's cool, collaborative storytelling. Okay, the other thing that I want to be careful about is my knowledge of the rules. And this will be true not just because I'm a game designer, but especially because of that. But GMs often have just a greater mechanical grasp of a game's rule system. And this gives you this can give you a significant mechanical edge in a game, especially if you've got more than the GM. And so this is some advice also for you real gamey power gamer prone people out there as well. Is I don't want to make a character, I don't want to view it as this is a mathematical challenge for me to beat the GM. Okay? Instead, I want to pour my mechanical grasp of the system into creating an interesting and well-rounded character that fits the thematic idea I have in my brain, but also contributes meaningfully. Okay, that's what I want to aim for. So yeah, that's the other thing. It all comes down to I'm not trying to be too dominating. Okay? Cool. So let's jump into this. So when I was creating a character, I kind of settled on an idea that I wanted a sciencey character who didn't have a weapon themselves, but who had a big companion. Eventually I was thinking like a robot companion who did all the fighting for them. And I thought, okay, well, this could work from a few different species within the lore. So I thought, Palantir was an obvious choice, very sciencey. They have very robot focus, obvious. That could work. Maybe I could be like a robot brain in a jar with a big stompy body that moves around it and carries it. That kind of quirky idea was in my brain. I thought that could be fun. The other idea was a Twyfar. So I had this idea of maybe a young Twyfar kid who hadn't yet bonded with their Farron, and so the Farron was this big creature that floats around them, and they were a bit of a prodigy, and so that was another idea for a character. Then of course you got the Corp, who again, very much into the whole master subservient sort of bodyguard, big robot science side of stuff. So that fits in as well. And I eventually did settle, as you can see from the artwork that I've selected, I've settled on a Corp. And I found it, so this was my next step, is like, okay, Corp. And I thought, I've got to find some artwork for this. So I went on to Pinterest, which is a great website for finding art. And I was typed in like, old man sketches or scientist drawings, stuff like that. And I was really struggling to find something that really spoke to me. And eventually I found this piece, which I just thought was beautiful. It turned out to be a bit more serious than I initially thought, like with a stern face and everything like that. But I thought, no, it's about, okay, this could work. Characters sort of forming, they don't have to go directly in the way that I initially thought. And I thought, yeah, no, I like it. Okay, if he's a Corp, he's a bit older, which means he probably grew up on Varsphere, so he knows how to live it rough, and he's lost an eye. I'm like, okay, a bit of a grizzled vet sort of a vibe there. I thought, yeah, that works. Okay, and so after a picture, I need a name. So the Corp have very... so let's have a quick look here at... let's see if I can get... straight to it. Okay. So the Corp... Got some example names here. Their naming convention is, for their first name, is very sort of uppity British names. And so... I just thought of some, so I got like Octavia or Stephanie or Edward. You've got to put a slight little emphasis, a funny emphasis on it, just to make it a little bit quirkier. And then their surnames are named after companies. So companies often pay for the upbringing of children, and as part of that, the children take on a version of the company branding or name as a family name. So this could be a direct copy of the name across, or a version that's close to it. So having a look here, there we go. Okay, sorry, the keyboard wasn't working. Looking through this, so these are some of the big companies, and I think, and I thought about this just a bit before, I thought Bradford Investment is a good company fit. They're kind of into interspecies negotiation. They do a lot of funding of startups, a big thing into robots, especially connected with a Palantir. I thought, yeah, that works. So Bradford Investment, and I eventually settled on the name Hugo Beford. Okay, I thought, yeah, that works. And yeah, there we go. There's Hugo, and a bit of a sketch of his robot. It's kind of a big hovering old retro looking thing. Yeah. Okay. So normally I would be writing this out by hand, or once I've sort of finally finished this, I'll do an interactive PDF with little boxes that people can click in and type stuff, and it does a little bit of basic calculation for people. But for now, I'm just going to be using this editing software of mine just to type in it. Okay. Cool. Okay. So to make your character, in the rule book, and I finally get to say this is getting closer to the final graphic design. So I'm not totally set on it yet, but I feel like we're getting pretty close to the final look now. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's kind of a bit sleek, and yeah, it works. Okay, so at the front of the core rulebook, there is a section here, a step-by-step guide for character creation, and you can pretty much just follow this down the list. and just this is how you make your character. So this is what we're going to be following. I won't be bringing this up all the time. I've got a little screenshot that I took here, which I've got on my other monitor, which I'll be referencing. But just so you guys know, this is where we're going to go. We're just going to be following this list down, and we will see where Hugo lands. Okay, so the first thing here is it says step A, the GM will determine your starting level. So our starting level is actually normally level 1, okay, but because I'm joining in partway through the campaign, we're actually level 2. Okay. So we are level 2. And then we've got to select our species. So we know we're Corp. So we can just... Okay, so we know we're Corp. But what does Corp actually mean? Okay, from a mechanical point of view. And in the back of the core rulebook, and this is the same with Fragged First Edition, is these lists. Okay, so once you know the rules, this is where you're going to be spending a bunch of your time. So we've got the NPC species here, but then we've got the other normal PC applicable species over here. So we are a... It's just sort of flicking around from here. Okay, so we are a corporate. And I am just going to copy all of this information straight onto a little Word document. Okay. Just so I can put it in there. There's Okay, cool. So we get some various skill pluses here. I'm just going to move that onto my other screen so it's not blocking the way. Okay, so first thing is we get some pluses to some skills. So let's put this down. Okay. Okay, so spot here. So we get +1 to wealth. So that goes there. So we got like a little species and traits bonuses here. +1 to culture. +1 to tactical. And +1 to operations. We also get some bonuses to our max resources and influence. So I'm just going to put that here. Wait. All right. +2 to that. And we get some languages. Okay. So we have Corp, which everyone starts with, but we also get Corp code. Okay. So that's it's a form of digital language. We also have -2 max strength, and we have a complication. So I'm just going to remember the -2 max strength rather than... I mean, I could go ahead and mark that off there, but... yeah, okay. There we go. Cool. Okay, so we've got prejudice from Keltorans is a complication. So in the book, you can look at your perks and complications, especially what they do. But generally, you're looking at penalties to rolls with people who have a prejudice against you. Okay? Cool. Okay, so that is step A and B all done. Step C is to distribute 18 points across your 6 attributes. Attributes have a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 5. So, let's do this. Okay, so... oops, I was just moving that. So... attributes. So if you distribute your 18 points across all of your attributes, oh man, I'm having trouble selecting there for some reason. Okay, so this effectively gives us 3 in all of them. So we were going to go Mr. or Mrs. average, you get 3 in each one. But I'm thinking, okay, so let's think about how we're going to do this. Okay, so obviously I don't think I would be particularly strong, but because of the artwork I've selected, I'm like, oh, I'm not like an aging, decrepit man, okay? So I'm going to go 2 strength, just because I feel like that's average, okay? Which then I can, obviously, we're going to beef up our intelligence. And then, okay, reflexes. I think 3 is okay, 3. Oh. Okay, we really are like a very mental person, aren't we? This is the, Okay, so we go 2, 2, 3, 3 mobility. Ooh. See, I'm tempted to put... I reckon 2, 2, 3 works alright for the physical attributes. But I might actually shift the extra bonus onto reflexes, okay? So sort of average strength and speed, but he's, just slightly more, I don't think about him being as more agile, but more like, he's experienced. So his experience sort of gives him an edge. It's sort of dodging attacks and making hits and things like that. Okay, grit 3. You know what? I think I'm actually going to make him not super brave. Okay? I want to dump that down and really boost up his intelligence. So he's like super smart. So normally, okay, I feel like that's an interesting arrangement of attribute points that works for his personality. Okay, so you don't have to do this bit, but I kind of like doing it. Color in these little hexes. Cool. That works there. Cool. Okay, so that's attributes done. So I'm sorry, I'm not going into the full detail of what all of this does, all of these attributes do, and all of my mechanical considerations with this. We're just kind of pushing through, yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, so the next one is step D is select your trained skills. So skills are here. You can have 6 primary skills, 2 personal combat skills, and 2 spacecraft combat skills. So these are your personal combat skills, your spacecraft combat skills, and then all of these are your primary skills. Okay, so trained will set a skill to a +1 bonus, and untrained will set it to a -2 penalty as a sort of a base thing there. But what we actually forgot to do is some of your attributes also modify your skills. So if you have 4 or more in an attribute that's in a bracket, you get +1 to that skill. So we have focus and intelligence. So this will give us +1. So focus. So it's going to give us +1 there. +1 there. Okay, that works there. Oh, okay, that's it. So we get some extra astronomy, computers, electronics. That's nice. Awareness, persuasion. Cool. Okay, that works for that. Okay, so we need to select our trained skills. So I'm going hardcore into the tech skills. Okay, so firstly, we have a giant robot. So turn off some of this. Okay, so definitely mechanics, electronics, computers. You know what? I don't mind the idea of astronomy. That's 4 skills. You know, I'm going to stay away from biotech and medicine. The reason being is because we have 2 other people in our party who are pretty good with the biotech stuff, like as a Nephilim and a remnant with some of that stuff. And I think I want to stay away from that, save for planets. And so I think we'll leave planets to other players. Look, I feel like he's not going to be a great people person in terms of being able to talk to people, but maybe understanding people. Okay, so I'm going to give him... Oh, man. Okay, he's got to have wealth, you know, being a corp. Wealth, it's like... Oh, man, do I want that one? I'm thinking about changing psychology. Definitely not resolve. Okay, physical, resolve, awareness are like good, safe choices for skills. But I don't think so. Maybe awareness could be okay. Okay, I think so. Okay, so we've got wealth, awareness, mechanics, electronics, computers, and astronomy. Okay, good set of nerdy skills there. So he definitely needs to have tactical because he's got his companion. And I think I'm going to go something a little bit different. I'm going to go tactical exotic for him. Not guns at all. Operations, I think definitely makes sense for that. And engineering. So he's not a pilot or a commander or a gunner, but good the tech side of stuff. Okay, cool. So that's his skills done there. Okay. The next one is step E. Select 1 trait per level. Okay? And you may have up to 1 trait per area. Level, resources, influence, each attribute, and each trained primary skill. And you may have up to 2 traits per trained combat skill. So, we have a choice of traits here. And these are the really important things. So, how do you select your first trait? Because there are a lot of traits. So the traits start here, and then they keep going for a while. Okay, there's a bunch of them. How do you go about selecting these? So my recommendation is when you're making your first trait, when you're making your first character, normally you're level 1, pick the defining area of your character. So is it that they're smart? Is it a particular skill that they have? And then only look at traits in those fields. So I'm going to vaguely follow that to start off with, and we'll see where we land. Okay, so I think I'm really looking for something to do with robotics, okay? And so I feel like we're probably looking at mechanics or electronics or computers. One of these skills are going to be his more defining features. So I can have a look at mechanics here, okay? Some of these are specific requirements of like a species or something. Good at repairing, aerospace. +1 defense. Okay, so this one's not a bad one. So, robotics. It grants +1 to 3 skills. And all those 3 skills are our important skills to us. Specialist bonus robots. So specialist bonus can grant you up to a +2 bonus to your role when dealing with your area of speciality. So that doesn't have to just be a mechanics role. It could be an electronics role to do with robots, all sorts of stuff. And then +2 defense for your companion. Okay. I was initially thinking our companion was going to be like a big thug. Okay. With a really low defense. So it's probably not worth beefing it up. But you know what? I kind of don't mind this one. So I'm gonna add it to the list. I'm just gonna put it here, and we'll keep going. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste down a few different options, and normally with a level 1 character, you'd only have one choice to make, but we have 2. Okay, so we can. Okay, electronics. Okay. Human tech, inventor. Oh, it's to do with prototype weapons. No, we're going companion. Overcharge. Oh, yeah. Reactor control. No, we're not really doing a lot of spacecraft stuff. Ooh, Tinkerer. You may perform 1 free modification acquisition roll per session. So this means I'd be good at like tweaking my equipment or my robot. Okay. Normally I would think that would be a very good choice for me, but because I'm only going to play a character for a few sessions, I may not get a lot of room out of that. So, okay. So I won't go Tinkerer. Okay, computers. Let's have a look here. Ooh, stockbroker. That'd be holography. You and your companions gain light mental cover against characters affected by the strong hit option decoy, or when they are affected by the strong hit option ward. Okay. So that's like distracting the enemy sort of stuff. Locksmith. Okay. Specialist bonus locks. Once per turn, when you would apply the lock-on effect to an enemy character, you gain a free recovery. Ooh. We got sort of targeting stuff. Programmer. Enemy characters increase difficulty of removing lock-ons by +2. Stream surfer. Okay. Look, I'm seeing some ideas here, but not necessarily for the big clunky robot stuff. Okay, let's have a look at tactical. Okay, so probably getting some more combat orientated traits here. Okay, what do we got here? Swarm would be nice, but unfortunately we're not a Nephilim or a Palantor. Okay. Formation. Deal additional endurance damage if there's nearby people. Hunker down. You know, I don't necessarily mind that one. Okay, very defensive sort of option there. Grants me heavy cover, grants +1 armor. Okay. All allies gain light mental cover if you're close in an ultimate plan. At the end of every third turn, you gain strong hit +1. It's kind of alright. Ultimate plan. We'll put a pin in that one. Okay. Insignificant target. Strong hit, insignificant target. Gain +1 cover step until your next turn. I like that one. Okay, I'm going to put that one down. I kind of like it. Like, don't pay attention to me, pay attention to my robot, sort of thing. Okay. Exhaust. Okay. Untouchable. Okay, I'm just kind of looking through these, and okay, we've got some ideas here. Let's have a look at intelligence, because I feel like intelligence is another big one for me. Okay, because intelligence is a defining feature of this character. So I want to have a look at the traits here. Okay, so we got. They're like for low intelligence characters. What do we got here? Higher education. Ooh. +1 to 3 different skills that you're not gaining a 4+ attribute to. I don't mind that one, and I feel like that fits the kind of smartsy idea character that he's got. Okay, so I'm just copying these into my Word document. Okay. Creative, org scope, educated. You are trained in an additional skill. I don't mind it. +1 to a skill that you're not gaining a species bonus to. Inside, foresight, studious, free rolls, analytical. That's not too bad. Org computation. You gain an innate computers toolbox. You are trained in a... Oh, hello. So this is an int 5 one. Okay. You are trained in an additional skill. +1 to 2 different skills that you're not... Okay. But it comes with a disruptor bonus. Negative. And it requires int 5, which we'd reach. I think this is it. Okay. So, character idea. So, let me just finish copying this down. Doop. Okay, sorry. Should do this on the page so people can see what I'm doing. Okay, so just neatening that up. Okay, so int, and it's gonna cost 1 knowledge. Okay, so character idea. So I'm going for robotics. I think the specialist bonus robots really just fits this character's idea. The extra skill boost will be nice. I don't think the +2 defense for my companions really going to be that helpful. But that's alright. The whole trait doesn't have to be perfectly fit. I feel like just those 2 bits justify it, and it really fits the theme. Okay? And I'm going to be mucking around with my robot a lot. So my specialist bonus is going to make modification rolls on it so much easier. Okay? The next one is Org Computation. So, intelligence trait costs 1 knowledge. You've got to have 5 intelligence, which we meet, which is a very high thing. And that just, I like all of that. That is just good stuff for this character. I have got to watch out for disruptors though. So if I get hit by one of those, not so fun. So, my idea for this character, now that I've got some traits, I'm starting to get a bit of a thing. So, he's got an eye patch. But underneath the eye patch is he lost kind of maybe, okay, here's an idea. We're thinking some backstory here. So he works for Bradford Investment, and Bradford, the CEO, is not a people person. And I reckon he was tasked with stealing Palantir robotics technology. And he botched the job, okay? And as punishment for this, he had a little accident, a little workplace accident, which involved him losing his eye and having, a bit of a hole blown out the back of his head. But his medical insurance covered him, and he was patched back up and brought back from effectively death, or near death. His brain was reconstructed using cybernetics, and underneath his eye patch is a scanner for his computer. So if he actually lifts the eye patch, it's like a glowing, like a plug that he can insert things and scan stuff with it. But he doesn't like to show it to people because it spooks people. And of course, he can no longer work for Bradford Investment, and so he quit there. But he wasn't fired. Oh no, but he couldn't go back and work there because he would never get a promotion, and he could have been used as a scapegoat in a future endeavor or something like that. So that's where he's got his org computation from. So let's insert this stuff into the character. Let's so we do that. Okay. Robotics. Okay. So I usually only like to write the notes here that I can't write elsewhere. So we're going to put robotics mechanics, and that gives us +1 to a few skills. So it gets +1 to electronics, +1 to astronomy, and +1 to engineering. Okay, and he gets a specialist bonus. So robots. I was incorrect. Sorry, the specialist bonus doesn't help with acquisition rolls, but that'll still be useful. And we get +2 bonus to companions. I'm going to write that just here, but I will probably remember this. So we get +2 defense to companions. Okay. So that's the first trait. Sorry, the program's going a little bit slow. And the next one, okay, so org. Computation. Okay, so this is going to cost us a knowledge point, and we'll deal with the knowledge points. We'll deal with that later, but I'm just going to put a note here. Oops. This is where you track your spare time points and your knowledge. Cool. Okay, so I get a bunch of stuff from this. So this org traits are often quite powerful, but they often have some steep requirements here. So just put here this in the equipment. Innate means it doesn't take up any equipment slots, so that's why I'm just sort of putting it here as a note. And there's a spot here for toolboxes. So computers, I get +1 to that. I'm trained in an additional skill. I think I want another nerdy skill. Not medicine or not biotech. I'm going to go planets. Not because I'm going to be great at it, but there's another player in the group who has planets, and that's kind of why I don't want to take it. I'm going to take culture. Okay, so he's got a knowledge of history and lore and stuff like that. Okay, and I get +1 to 2 different skills that I'm not gaining a 4+ attribute or species bonus to. Okay, so this means, you know what? Mechanics, definitely. Okay. So that's one of them, because mechanics good for robots. I'm getting computers is getting a bonus from my intelligence, so I can't give that one to that. And astronomy and wealth. What about awareness? Okay, he's just very seasoned. Makes him good at spotting things. Okay. And we have the disadvantage. So disruptors deal 1 auto strong hit against me. Okay, put that there. Cool. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with those traits. Okay, I think the robotics one is just great thematically. It really just works for me. And then the all computation one, I think, is a bit of a it's a strong choice mechanically. Like it's a bit of a power choice, but it's giving lots and lots of skill boosts, which really I think helps make him feel as clever as what I want him to be. Okay. Okay. So the next thing on the list to do. So we select a complication now. So we go back here, and this is one, and so you select one complication, so it's 1 plus 1 per 5 levels. So he starts with 1. Now, these are the normal sort of complications, okay? You know, moral code, or you're observed, or you got prejudice, or a reputation, guilt, dependent NPC. Oh man, I can give him a little goofy robot to fly around with him. Okay. You know what? I think... Okay. So, there's an extra thing here called drive complications. So these are an alternate form of complication. Let's see if we can... Okay. So what drive complications are, they are... I'll just read the text here. Is that drive complications are designed to be a reward for proactive role-playing rather than a compensation for additional difficulties. So in a normal complication, you can gain a little return when they pop up, but drive complications reward you for doing something, and they're more like picking a personality trait. So I am going to say, let's have a look at these. Have we got any? Okay. Maybe drive complications might be a bit hard for me because I'm only going to be in the game for a few sessions. Oh man, see, this is the thing. I want to get carried away and do all the little detailed stuff. Well, let's just select a normal complication. Okay. Okay. Let's say I like the idea of sort of the damage to his head, like that being some pivotal moment. Okay. I don't want to select something that's too complicated for the GM. So I was thinking, hallucination would be fun. Like maybe there's a little virus in the thing that he got because it was like an off-the-market bit of cyberware. Okay. We could go fearless or foolish. No. That just increases. That just makes me more moral code, inner fire. Hunted. Okay, I'm going to go hunted by Bradford Investment. Okay. I feel like that just fits. And the GM can decide if they wish to do this. Insert into the campaign. Cool. Okay. So that's one of those. Okay. The next one is allocate our resources. So we're gonna do that soon. Allocate your influence. That's on your spacecraft. Spend your spare time points and knowledge. So we'll do that as we're spending our resources and getting our guns and stuff like that. And calculating our substats. So I think we're going to do this, calculate the substats a bit earlier, just because I feel like it, mostly. Okay, so grit rerolls is 2. So we get no perks, because we're not quite there yet. Our current resources. So current resources equals your level plus 2, and we get a bonus 1 because we are corpse. So that means we get, what was it, level 2, that's 4, 5. Okay, so we got 5. That's heaps. Okay, cool. So I just want to, and let's figure out our equipment slots. So 4 plus strength is 6. Okay. So, I don't think we're going to spend the resources in this video. I feel like this video is long enough at 50 minutes. And then all I need to go ahead is start calculating these skills. Whoops. And I think for our next video, a future video, I will record spending the resources, building out our weapons, stuff like that. And yeah, we'll go from there. I feel like this is a pretty fun character. Hugo Beford, and at some point we will also have, we'll have to come up with a name for each robot and some personality ideas. Cool. Okay, I think that's for now. Next video, hopefully we will spend his resources, build his robot, get him some armor. Cool. Okay, take care.